Now to the divisions of the pelvis. Okay, so now the pelvis is actually divided into two major parts. We have the false pelvis and we have the true pelvis. So the false pelvis and the true pelvis is what separated by what we call the brim. So the brim of the pelvis is from this side. Okay, this side is the brim. So above the brim is the false pelvis, and it has little importance in obstetric or in midwifery. Okay, but then below the brim, which is this side, below the brim coming down to the outlet is of importance of towards a midwifery, and that forms the true pelvis. Okay, now let's look at the landmarks of the brim. So I already told you that the brim is this part. Okay, the entrance. Okay, this part, that is the brim. Okay, now the brim landmark is by what? The promontory of the sacrum. Do you remember the promontory of the sacrum? If you don't remember, please go back to the other videos and check. This is the promontory of the sacrum. Then the ala of the sacrum. So this is the ala of the sacrum. Then sacroiliac joint, the joint between the ilium and the sacrum. Sacroiliac joint. When you leave the sacroiliac joint and come down, you have the iliopectineal line. So when you finish the iliopectineal line, you come to the iliopectineal eminence. Iliopectineal eminence. I hope you can see it. When you leave the iliopectineal eminence, then you come to the superior aspect of the body of the superior pubic ramus. This is it. Okay, the superior pubic ramus. Okay, then you come to the body of the pubic bone. Okay, the body of the pubic bone. Then finally the upper border of the symphysis pubis. So it will run through the same thing. So if I quickly do it, we have the sacral promontory, the alley of the sacrum, the sacroiliac joint. We run to the sacral iliopectineal line, which terminates in the iliopectineal eminence. Then we come to the superior aspect of the superior border of the superior pubic ramus. Sorry, the superior pubic ramus. Then we come to the upper border of the pubic bone. No, pubic body. Sorry. Then we will now add the symphysis pubis, which is the upper border of the symphysis pubis. So this will mark the landmarks of the brim. When we come to the cavity is this part. When the cavity extends from below the brim to the outlet. Okay, now the cavity is demarcated by formed by the hollow of the sacrum. You remember the hollow of the sacrum, which is the posterior wall of the cavity. It is a very concave. Okay, the concavity is massive. Okay, as you can see. Okay, then it's approximately 10 centimeters. That forms the posterior wall. Then the anterior wall is formed by the symphysis pubis. So if you look at it, this is a cavity. So look at it like a hole. So this is the back of the hole or the cavity. Then this is the front. So the front is the anterior wall. The anterior wall is also bounded by the symphysis pubis, which is approximately 4 centimeters. Now, if we've seen the posterior, seen the anterior, what forms the lateral side? So look at the lateral side. The lateral side is also going to be an imaginary line because it's a cavity is round. Are you getting it? So imaginary line drawn from the hollow of the sacrum through the obturator, the hollow of the sacrum. We go to the greater sciatic notch. You can see this is the greater sciatic notch. Then we come to the posterior aspect of the acetabulum. This is the acetabulum, and this is the posterior aspect. So we are drawing a line. So look at it. The greater sciatic notch, posterior aspect of the acetabulum. When you leave the posterior aspect of the acetabulum, what do you get? Now you come to the obturator foramen or obturator memory. I hope you are seeing that one. Yes. When you leave the obturator foramen and obturator memory, you are going to pass through the posterior aspect of the pubic bone. Okay, the posterior pubic bone. Then you now come to the posterior aspect of the symphysis pubis. Okay, that will now be the cavity, the lateral borders of the cavity. So if you want to go to this side, it will repeat the same thing. Are you getting it? Yes. We will now come to talk about the outlet in our next video. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe.